In that case, welcome to the cast. We've got a scrim here tonight between Illuzion and Forever and Ever, a couple teams that just played in open division. Illuzion went 7-3 and Forever and Ever went 3,500. Both teams are using this as a little bit of a chance to do some tryouts as well as get some scrim hours in. So I'm going to be calling this as your color caster, and with me is BeatDownBlvd as our play-by-play caster. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
I am doing great. I am looking forward to seeing this now that our host is no longer muted.
Ideal.
So what are some of the things that you're going to be looking for today with the new meta finally getting a little bit settled, I'll say, with the recent patches?
I honestly don't think very much is going to change. It seemed like, at least with the higher level teams, we're still going to see a lot of Hanzo because despite his nerf, it is minor. He's still great. Brigitte, although slightly tuned down, which was necessary, is still pretty good. I think it is a little map dependent, but like I do think not a whole lot's going to change. You know, you're still going to see some really solid Ryan, Zarya, Brigitte death balls, but on some maps you can still see the dive. It just really depends.
How about the double sniper comp? We've seen a fair bit of that in open division. Started to see a little bit of it in contenders trials as well, where a team will just have a main tank, maybe it's Orisa, maybe it's Ryan, on the point on the bottom ground, and just have both Hanzo and Widow take overlapping fields of fire as two snipers. What do you think is going to be whether or not teams want to bring that out in scrims? Is that based on map? Is that based on what part of the map they're on? Or is it just down to individual player comfort?
I think it's like a combination of a lot of those things. I think first and foremost, it should be player comfort. Like you have to be good and confident on the sniper characters because, you know, they are mechanically demanding. It is a little map dependent, although I find it does work like on quite a few maps. So, you know, you can get away with it a lot of the time. I do think it's really good because in general, people like running the single sniper with the Widowmaker. But if you're running that into a double sniper, it is pretty troublesome, I find, because, you know, you have to watch two different angles now. Because now the Hanzo's looking for you on top of the enemy Widowmaker. And that's just a lot of pressure. Because the whole point is they have the long range damage, so they can basically hit you from a safe position unless you have similar damage. So unless you're running the double sniper yourself or some kind of long range damage, your one sniper will struggle.
So we are going to be going to Blizzard World first, and we're going to have Forever and Ever on attack first. So how about Blizzard World? Because it's got a lot of wide open spaces, but especially on that first point, everyone's kind of coming down one canal. Does that tend to favor sniper play more, or do you think we might see a dive coming out here?
I think defensively you can still run a sniper because actually I think both teams could run the Widowmaker. I'm not so sure about double sniper. You know, I would expect not to see any dive. It's really good because there isn't too much like inaccessible high ground. So, and most of the battles are going to be on the lower ground area. You would pretty much, both teams are just going to run the Zarya and they're going to run the Reinhardt death ball either with the Zarya or it looks like in this team's case the Diva. Either way, the point is it's really all about the ground war. I don't think mobility is the hugest boon here, at least on the first point.
And of course, as we've seen GOATs in contenders trials and in the open division playoffs, they really started to popularize that, bringing Diva along with Reinhardt and Brigitte, just get a little bit of the party. They are also bringing a pharmacy as they decide to start to come out here. So is there anyone really on Illuzion who's going to be able to counter that far if she starts getting going?
It does depend. Because of Hanzo's increased projectile speed, Party Boy can definitely put some good damage in there, especially if he's good. He could just, you know, land a headshot. I know it's really easy to say, just click her head, lol. But it's definitely within the realm of possibility. However, it's still somewhat difficult. I think the team needs to focus on winning the ground war. And, you know, if you can, either pressure her or try to ignore her and win the ground war before she can do anything meaningful. However, that is not a good way to start off. Party Boy's going to go down, but it looks like they're actually going to get the res off. So this team fight's pretty much underway. Both main tanks go down. And they're just brawling on the point here. It looks like it's 3 versus 4. Bit of a struggle. Ooh, kill on the enemy fire. That's pretty huge. However, it's going to get resed up. So now they're just kind of poking, even though they do have a bit of a player advantage. They need to push that, and they did so just now. Although, looks like they're answering back. Kills going on both sides, but, oh, actually, Yumuzu is back onto the point here. So it looks like they might actually be able to stabilize, although they've lost a tick. They can finally start.
That was a pretty, I'll say, scattered engagement on the first point. A whole lot of trades, and when one side has a spawn advantage, like the attacker does on point one, those trades immediately favor the attacker. As Forever and Ever start to push in through the second point, traditionally that's a lot harder. They are starting to get a little scattered, trying to push a little more of the base sim up here. He's going to be looking for that early pick to really get them started. And if he can take out the other Hanzo, that's going to be perfect for him.
For sure. Getting that early kill on the Hanzo is so good. Being the only one who can actually contest fire, and even then, he was having a bit of trouble, so I would kind of expect that maybe swap to the Widowmaker or McCree would be an alright pick. Fire's doing a lot of work right now, so they really got to find a way to deal with it. Actually has the rocket barrage. Actually, they have many ults too. He's diving on a party boy here. Does get the kill, but gets Vasim before he dies. Rocket barrage comes out, gets Strafology and Jerry. Oh, both supports are down. And Vasim
that
gets
was just
resurrected.
a little bit of I'll say, bullying, because they knew they had the heavy ult advantage. They just wanted to get this payload as far as they could on point B before they were going to get stopped. So right now, they were also trying to buy time for Yugo on Zarya to build her Graviton Surge, because that's the big combo that they're looking for. Vasim saved the Dragon Strike, just waiting for Zarya to get Graviton Surge ready. Wait for that to come out if Yugo can get some good chip damage as they take point B here.
Oh, that hurts. I don't think they realized how close they were. They were kind of just standing there preparing themselves, I think, waiting for the Brigitte armor. And they're going to pay for it. They're just getting torn apart here.
Yeah, ever since they moved the point B capture point back, this has been a lot more balanced. It used to be extremely difficult to capture point B. Now you see it happen a lot more. It's a lot more balanced. And as they go into point C here, Forever and Ever they've got the ball rolling. They've got the wombo combo of Zarya and Hanzo ready, but so does Illuzion. So we might see dueling combos here.
For sure. It's just going to be about who gets the most value out of it right now. Be on the lookout for both Zaryas. And we're going to see both going out. Actually, a bunch of mirror ultimates going on here, except Fire with the rocket barrage is going to actually, again, both supports. Party Boy goes down too. This is definitely in their favor. Now it's just Red X with maybe 1 HP. Never mind, make that 0. They're definitely making their way across here now.
And as they're getting towards this last point, I think the real difference there was Fire's ult as Pharah. The entire Illuzion team was kind of distracted by the combo they expected, and then Fire barraged from the side.
Really helpful, as it does outdamage Transcendence if Fire close enough. They're just getting the kills. There's nothing they can do here. Earthshatter doesn't find anything, and they're going to finish.
It's a extremely fast take by Forever and Ever. I think Illuzion didn't expect to see that kind of cohesion coming out, especially on point B. The early pressure from Forever and Ever, especially Vasim on Hanzo, it forced Illuzion to not be able to group up and start their defense until the payload was already about a third of the way through. They had to regroup way at the backside of point B and then come onto the point. That's not what you tend to prefer as an engagement when you're on the defensive side of a battle like that. And because they were kind of unbalanced from that first time, the first combo of ults that hit, they only needed 2 ults. They got nearly a team wipe, and that took them pretty much all the way to the end of point B. And Illuzion was just never really able to get their feet back under them in point 3 here. So now that Illuzion is going to be under attack, how do you recover from getting rolled like that and put your best foot forward on attack?
So I think what they're going to want to do here is, I see the switch here onto the Widowmaker. It's probably ideal. They were really struggling to deal with Fire on the Pharah, and it looks like he's going to play it again. And even if not, Widowmaker is a solid pick on here. It looks like they're actually going to opt for the double sniper. Definitely works pretty well. As long as they can get the better of Phasm, they can definitely add a lot of much needed pressure onto Fire. So I think this first point might actually work out pretty well for Illuzion just based on the composition.
Yeah, I do like that they are bringing another sniper to try to deal with Fire, because honestly, they didn't look like they had an answer for the pharmacy the entire map. So as they're starting to come out here, I do like the balance that they're bringing. I do like that they're bringing 2 snipers on attack. It's just going to be whether or not they can get value and get picks on either Mercy or Pharah early on. Okay, sorry about that. Brief little technical difficulties here as we got started with this first attack. Illuzion is also going through the side, just slowly pushing on the point on the back of their Zarya and Rhine combo. Still waiting to see how they're going to follow up this initial engage.
Yeah, ooh, unfortunate for Red X, gonna die with such high energy. But they actually, with both tanks down, they may want to back off here. Jane getting the res on the 0-2 pretty much guarantees this push is over right now.
Yeah, and they probably could have waited and bullied that Mercy a little more, staggered a little more, but they won their first team fight. Their blood was up. They wanted to just put an exclamation point on it and get that team fight win as quickly as they could. And that does put Illuzion in a bit of a hole coming out. They've got a number of players that are about halfway to their ults, so they're going to just be trying to build that. What they've got to be aware of is that Vasim up on that high ground already has his ult. Will he wait for Yugo, or will he wait for Zeratul to get a combo, or is he just going to fire those dragons off and get value from them early?
Yeah, if I was him, I'd rather get it off early. You know, Yugo's only halfway. Ooh, huge pick on the fire. However, actually, it doesn't look like he'll be able to resurrect it as well, so Vasim's just going to fire the Dragon Strike. Gets the kill on the strafe. Well, looks like he goes down instead as well. Zumba finally getting some kills here. Kills getting traded on both sides. Ooh, Yumu going for the charge, doesn't find anything. Oh, huge pick on the January and Zera. It actually looks like Illuzion is going to have this point. They're going to pop that Valkyrie just for good measure.
They are, and the trades came out in their favor. I really like the way that Yumu did still engage as Ryan, even though he lost his Zarya buddy. He was getting pocketed by Jerry on Mercy, and that was enough. And so now they're not going to apply as much pressure on point B as Forever did. And as a result, look here, Forever's going to be defending point B extremely far forward, and they're going to have a lot of ults. They're going to be able to halt this payload wherever they choose to.
Definitely. Yugo and Fire both have their ults. That's probably the combo we're expecting to see. Yugo's actually on the top here. Yeah, looking to make that combo. Graviton comes out. They get the immediate kill onto Jerry. Ooh, Earth Shatter lands despite the shield looking like it's up. They need to back off right now. Red X trying to build the charge, but really not such a good idea, and he falls.
Yeah, at this point, it's starting to get a little bullying. They're trying to spawn camp. They might be getting a little bit overconfident, I'll say. When you're pushing and you're holding this far forward, one or two picks can unhinge your entire defense for half the point.
Well, it's exactly the way you said it. Although Darth getting picked was huge, he did get resurrected. Huge Earth Shatter here from Yumu, but Darth ends up getting the Transcendence going off, and fires off the...
Did Zeratul charge off the edge of the map?
I think that's what he did, actually, and that's pretty huge, especially considering January's down.
Yeah. That's one way to reset a defense, honestly.
I mean, yeah, now they're without the main tank. Yumu's just right back out of spawn. They can actually start making some moves. I'd actually go on the aggressive if I were them, because, you know, Zeratul still has quite a walk.
So they are going to push with a lot of pressure now. They're going to try to get rolling, get pushing a little far forward. They want to really keep Forever off of the point right now. And they want to build that ult. Red X has the ult. Party Boy on Hanzo did just die with Dragons up, though. So they're probably going to back off a little, engage with the Valkyrie here, and they're going to wait to get Hanzo back so they can combo.
Interesting use of the belt. I mean, I guess it was to protect Jerry to protect himself, but still, with Party Boy being down, not a whole lot of benefit can actually come from the ult. Yeah, I think it would have just been better to take the reset.
And here it comes. Watch to see whether or not... Oh, what? Oh,
here it comes. Oh, the grab Dragon Strike combo, and he gets 4. Getting that kill on the fire, too. Absolutely huge. Jerry almost made it out, but they would not have it. Huge team kill. The respawns are already coming in. They might be able to take another fight. Actually, it doesn't look like they're going to make it.
Yeah, they don't have anyone who really can. They need to just not get annihilated right at the spawn like the Illuzion did on defense themselves. Illuzion do seem to have a pretty good feel for this first attack on point C, though. They are going to be working with a bit of a time bank disadvantage, though. And they burned pretty much all of their ults correctly so to get to point B.
Indeed, although lucky for them, Zeratul completely burned his ult too. Lost the point, went for the Earth Shatter, died before he could get it off. That's really huge for them. Although, Forever, it does have the grab Dragon Strike combo. Definitely something to look out for. Actually, they have all their ults.
Yeah, they do have it. Yeah, we might be about to see an ult storm.
Oh, yeah. Here
Like
comes the
this.
grab Dragon Strike, and it's gonna get 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's gonna pretty much get the whole team.
Yeah, and it's good that they only invested 2 ults to do that. You don't want to gratuitously overuse ults. Because Illuzion didn't have a Zen who could transcend through that and balance out the damage with his healing, they didn't need to commit anything else. But now Illuzion, they kind of had to expect that one of their pushes was going to get eaten by that. Yumu does have Earth Shatter. He's going to be looking for a good chance for Zeratul shield to be down here. So watch the Rhine battle carefully.
Yeah, they're definitely trading damage. Oh, barrier gets destroyed.
Like
However,
that.
the Shatter doesn't find anything.
Yeah, he saw that the shield was going down, but he wasn't able to hit anyone. He was just so excited by breaking down the shield that he Earth Shattered, expecting somebody to round that corner, but nobody came.
Yeah, so now the kills are coming for Forever. They need to get out of there, but it looks like they're just gonna accept death, go for the reset. About 2 minutes left. They're actually pushing again, once again, pushing up pretty close to the spawn here, despite not having any. Sorry.
Yeah, and Forever does love their extremely aggressive holds. It's gotten them into trouble once or twice, but if Illuzion can't punish, say, that Hanzo that's way up high, then it's a really good way to disrupt that. Oops, they're going to get pipped.
Yep, speaking of punish, Yugo way out of position, gets completely wrecked for it. So now this is their time. They do want to get in there. Valkyrie out for the aggressive. Dragon Strike's going to come through, not going to find anything really, I guess, just to buy some time zone. Although Yugo is pretty getting close to the Graviton Surge, so questionable. It could be considered questionable. However, Zeratul dies with his shield, bays him as well. Dragon Strike coming out, finds January. Darth goes down to no supports. They're finally on the back foot here. This might actually be exactly what Illuzion needs.
So the plan there was probably to wait for Red X to use Graviton Surge, but Party Boy saw everyone lined up and took the chance. Might be enough to get them all the way to the end here.
Yeah, nothing wrong with modifying the plan as long as it does end up working out. However, that Graviton usage may not have gone the way he wanted to. Earth Shatter comes out, doesn't actually find anything for it. Oh, but Zeratul on his side actually does get the value. But actually, Illusion's starting to get the kills. Fire goes down, Graviton Strike's coming in, Graviton Surge is coming in, but the team's dying too quickly. They can't actually do any meaningful following up, and they're gonna finish.
So that was a literal attempt at a zoning Graviton Surge, one of those rare beasts you almost never see in the wild. It caught everyone but the ulting Zenyatta, and that Zenyatta bought time for everyone else to get onto the payload. So good job to Illuzion for getting through all 3 points. However, they're at a massive time bank deficit now. They're going to have 1 minute here on their second attack. Forever's going to have almost 5 minutes. So given that they're going to be this far in a hole, is it time to bring out some crazy strategies, do something other than the current meta just to see if you can surprise people? Because you have to take this first point.
Yeah, time is so against you right now. You definitely want to do whatever you can, really. Just, as you said, maybe catch them by surprise. They need to aggressively they need to take this. Actually, nope, it doesn't even matter. Both teams look like they're asking for the next map.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess they don't want to go through a Blizzard World again, which I can understand. A lot of people don't like that too much. I will say that I do like Blizzard World, but I understand the people who don't.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I'm one of those people. I do not like Blizzard World.
Well, I also like 2CP, so you can kind of bias your estimates of my tastes accordingly.
Oh, I biased your estimates when I saw you play tanks in Deathmatch.
Look, it worked.
That's right. Okay? That's right. I'm pretty. Did it work? Did you win though?
I got second every time. You shut your mouth. But you know what? I will say, guess what's next? It's 2CP. It's Volsky Industries. Oh, so y'all got to watch one of my favorite maps again anyway. So, I'm going to declare that I win this argument.
All right, fine. Yeah, I guess you're right. But you keep in mind, in those deathmatch games, when you came in second, who came in first? I
have no memory of what you're talking about.
No, I'm sure you don't. So let me
as we start Volskaya Industries here, both teams are ready. Do you think we're going to see something similar to what we saw in Blizzard World with Forever and Ever bringing out the pharmacy? Do you think that Volskaya's first point is as good for pharmacy as Blizzard World's entire map is?
No, I don't. There's very little. I think what benefits Spara very greatly is architecture. You have buildings, you have walls, high ground areas that she can maneuver around and pop in and out of cover, especially when we're in a meta where snipers are pretty popular. it's pretty dangerous territory for her to navigate. It's not something I would personally do. I think there are better heroes to run. However, it looks like they don't care what I have to say, and Fire is on the Pharah.
Well, I mean, when you have a player who's best at and is most comfortable on Pharah, when it's a marginal hero pick based on the map or meta, that's when you see those kinds of things anyway. That might be what we're seeing here. Illuzion is going to be on defense first. They are going to be the blue team once more on your screen, just like last map. Looks like they're going to be bringing out the double sniper composition that we talked about to start the show.
That does seem to be the case here. They did bring it out last round for their attack. It did definitely do the work, although I didn't. They played it well. I'm not saying like they played it poorly, but Illuzion kind of benefited from some mistakes Forever made. So it was just as much their mistake making as it was they played it well. So it's a little debatable. We're gonna have a pause here. Somebody DC'd, but
I think that's my fault. I was asking about somebody getting DC'd, and then it happened. So yeah, we do have a little bit of a pause here for technical difficulties.
Caster's Curse strikes again.
Absolutely. The amusing thing is that I thought somebody else DC'd that didn't DC, and then somebody completely unrelated actually DC'd. So, you know, we're operating on multiple levels of the Caster's Curse here.
Indeed. But hey, it's random, so it's fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you surprised to not see Brigitte here on the defense? Because they've got the Rhine, they've got the Zarya, they got two snipers. Their supports are going to be Zen and Mercy. Would you think that stopping either of those out for Brigitte might be a good play, or is that something you might save for the second point?
I think if you're on defense, you could definitely play it on point A or B. On attack, it depends how you want to run it. I think I'm a little yeah. If you could swap the Zen out, I guess if you wanted to keep the two tanks going for you and run the double sniper, it's definitely usable. Especially with how quickly she can kind of build the rally. You could probably build it pretty early.
Yeah, one of the things that having a Zen does buy you, though, is a little bit of resiliency to the traditional Zarya Hanzo combo. Because if you've got a transcending Zen, that means the attacking team has to do something in addition to that wombo combo to get kills. So it gives you a little bit more resiliency, or more accurately, it just forces both teams to use more ults when they want to get a combo off. It makes that first use of who's going to start pairing ultimates off, it makes things snowball a little harder, whether or not the Zen's on your team.
Yeah, that is a good point. I think that's why a lot of teams end up opting for putting Brigitte in the DPS slot.
And Party Boy is getting a little frisky, going to try to get probably a Storm Arrow kill right off the bat here at the main entrance. Oh, nope, he was just getting some recon info. He's going to run away.
Yeah, probably for the best, especially with Fire on the Pharah. It's really easy for him to get dived without any support.
Yeah, he waited to see who was going to be there before he ran away, though, I will say.
Yeah, I will still give him that. Pretty ballsy.
So they're not going to hold at the choke here. They're going to allow Forever to push right in around the side, but Zumba is going to ground Fire almost immediately.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You know, it's so wide open. It's so easy to get that first pick. Wow, Zumba getting some pretty good kills here. Party Boy getting resurrected, so this is definitely an Illusion's advantage here. That pick onto the Pharah is huge. Resurrect from Jane didn't come out, I believe, actually.
I think early on it did happen because Jane resurrected Fire fairly early. I am interested by where Illuzion is holding, though. Usually you see teams either hold at the choke or on the high ground. Holding to one side of the point isn't something that I see a lot. Why do you think they're doing that?
I wonder if it's they predict Fire on the Pharah, you know, holding so far back here. Oh, wow, it doesn't really matter. Fire on Pharah, getting two huge kills. And then the third one, too. Oof, wow, Illusion is falling apart all of a sudden here. Just as I was about to phrase their position in a way,
it was going
using
well.
it as a way to... It was
going well until everyone died, as the quote goes. The reason for that is Fire, not the best point for Fire on Pharah, but he's making it work. And sometimes when you have a DPS that just is completely in sync with their hero choice, you can bully somebody all the way back to point B. And this first push on point B is always critical. They don't quite have a full wombo combo, but they might poke at the choke a little while to get Yugo built up, or they might push in just immediately and not wait.
Yeah, they could probably build a mid-fight, and they're just probably hoping to just throw it in there when the time is right. Walls are going to come out for Zumba. Ooh, not going to help too much. Earth Shatter comes out. Whoa, Fire goes for the Rocket Punch.
The old storm came out, but here comes the combo.
Yeah, combo's not going to find anyone. Actually, they die before it can even matter. One tick's already captured here. It's really just Jerry on the point. Straightology's getting bullied a little bit. Yo, Yumu for the save is going to come through.
If they can just hold out a little while, Red X and Party Boy will be able to do the same combo for Illuzion.
But it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
On point. Ouch.
Ouch is right.
That's an ouchers. Red X has to be feeling bad. They were very close to getting on the point and stalling it out. And with the ult combo that they hit, they probably could have held that for a little bit longer. I don't think they could have won the fight, but they might have been able to drain another 30, 60 seconds off the clock. As it is, Forever has a 5.5-minute time bank going on. It's going to be pretty hard, I think, for Illuzion to overcome on the offense.
Yeah, it definitely is. 5.5 minutes is quite a time to beat.
So let's see what can Illuzion do, because this is the second map now where they've kind of gotten bullied on defense, where as soon as they lost one team fight, it looked like the communication isn't quite gelling. They're not quite able to get settled in and be able to treat the next fight as if, okay, we lost a fight, that doesn't matter, let's just keep going. It looks like that first team fight they lose keeps on unsettling them. Yeah,
I actually think that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, they kind of sort of fall apart. It's hard for them to regain their composure. I think that's really the biggest issue they have right now, because that's something you want to have. That's something you need to have, rather, especially when you're going to lose team fights, but you just need to know when to back off and, all right, regroup, we're going to try again. But they have trouble with the regrouping part, and that's really crucial, because that's how you get rolled on points like these. That's how you get rolled on Blizzard World and end up with, like, your enemy team having a 4-minute time bank.
So Forever and Ever is trying some mind games, because Yugo started out on Orisa, jumped off a cliff, and then switched to Zarya, probably hoping that Illuzion would see that and not realize they were getting jebaited and think they were about to push into an Orisa comp, maybe trying to convince them that the Halt and Hook combo of Orisa and Roadhog was going to be the centerpiece of the defense. Instead, they're going to see Zarya, Ryan, and Pharmacy again. So they're not going to see any surprises, but Forever might be trying to make them feel surprised.
Yeah, well, Illuzion isn't really going to do anything out of the norm comp-wise of running the double sniper with the Reinhardt Zarya. So I don't think they were really bothered by it. Well, huge opening pick on the Basin here. He's going to get resurrected, but still, Rez is down so early. Oh, again, Zumba mid-charge. Zeratul goes down. This is definitely their time they want to go. Main tank is down, the Rez is down, Fire's down. Yeah, now they can really start getting aggressive here and actually do something. Yumu's just swinging away, shielding occasionally. Got to be careful. Yugo is pretty high charge. They really want to get on the point and start actually building some capture percentage.
Yeah, just absolute bullying. And incredible shot there by Zumba to pick off Zeratul mid-charge. That really unhinged the entire Forever and Ever defense. Then Zeratul now is going to push it forward really aggressively. Not a lot of long-term hope of salvaging this point. This is just a play to bleed time.
Definitely. I mean, bleeding time really doesn't hurt you.
Or they could win this fight. I'm impressed. Party Boy's got to save it by himself now, and he does because Hanzo.
Yeah. Refer back to me saying Hanzo's still great.
Yeah, Hanzo just came out of nowhere from behind, and, oh, that's 2 picks. Good fight. Thank you. And now they're going to have their own chance to get a really good first push off, because they are going to have the Wombo combo with Red X and Party Boy here available. If they can catch a bunch of Forever grouped up, so watch and see if Forever is going to group up. They might not realize that that combo is fully charged and operational.
Oh, that's something you really want to know. I think they're going to go for the combos themselves. However, Illuzion actually has the Transcendence. So 2 picks are going out for them. Though they lost Red X, it actually doesn't matter. They're resurrected him, and the picks are starting to go into their favor. Oh, Jane goes down after the resurrect. That's really big. Gravitoning nobody. I guess that's just a super aggressive power move. That doesn't look like anybody.
I just didn't realize that Yugo was about to die.
Yeah, I guess so. But even then, solo ulting Zarya, a little questionable. Doesn't look like anyone's actually going to make it. I think they capped.
Oh boy, I wonder if they're going to want to do a second round of that one. It looked to me like Zeratul could have gotten on there, but I think he wanted this defense to be mercifully over.
I mean, yeah, you can't deny the result. They actually have about 20 seconds on Forever 2 on the time advantage.
Yeah, and I am surprised. I don't know if they're going to want to play a second set of attacks on this map since the first two were both over so quickly. But, oh, no, they're not. They're going to want to go to the next map. But they're going to want to go to King of the Hill. I'm impressed that they used Graviton Surge, caught nobody, and still won the team fight. That's not something you see a lot of.
No, that's just how you know they played it so well. They won that team fight so candidly. They just threw the Graviton at nobody. That's just dominance asserted, really. They didn't even need it. How does that make you, that must make you feel terrible as a team. Like, wow, they just threw a Graviton at my dead body.
Well, yeah, I mean, the flip side of that is Yugo's got to be feeling pretty good because the intent was to catch Yugo Azaria alone with that Graviton Surge. So he was like, yeah, you're going to invest a Graviton Surge and solo ult me. I mean, sure, I died before it hit, but it's the thought that counts.
Honestly, I'd be laughing even more if I was Yugo, because I already love it when I get solo ulted, because I'm like, that's such a waste. Why would you do that? But now the fact that he went for it and it actually just got nobody, I'd be laughing until my team lost the round, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, and it's more interesting that they solo ulted because they knew that Yugo didn't have their ult anymore. They knew that the Graviton Surge had just come out, had just failed to stop their push. So it's interesting that they still wanted to use an entire ult just to delete Zarya.
Yeah, it's almost toxic, to be honest. Because it was really unnecessary. Most of them were there. I mean, like your whole team is there versus one Zarya. Do you really need an ultimate? This isn't ladder 2. This is an organized team.
Yeah, and now we're going to go to Nepal and King of the Hill, a game mode that both teams say is their favorite because 90% of the player base says that King of the Hill is their favorite. I'm the only person who can't stand it. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Now we get to watch my favorite game mode.
I will grin and bear it for the sake of a good match and a good scrim.
You're a good man, Mukai. A better man than I, who was frowning the entire time of Volskaya Industries.
So this first point is an interesting one. It's got a lot of wide open spaces. This one actually is a very good Pharah point, and Fire is again going to be bringing the Pharah, so we're going to see some pharmacy action. It doesn't look to me like Illuzion has a lot that's going to counter that other than Party Boy on Hanzo, so going to be putting a whole lot of faith on them again.
Yeah, but I mean, we saw what Workfire could do on a not so great Pharah map, but now we're on one of the Pharah maps, so this could actually, with the exception of Nepal Village, but depending on how saucy you're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we got one coming up that's Boop City. Get all the environmental kills you can. I'm looking forward to that one most of all, personally.
Oh yeah, my favorite type of map, Boop City.
And Red X is actually bringing May, interestingly enough.
That actually is just becoming more and more common nowadays. I want it to be known that I was on a team who ran this strat way, way before anyone else. That's all I wanted to say. It's really good because you can isolate people onto this point. There's really only 2 entrances. So honestly, once you start capping the point, you can just wall off the team and take it over. However, you can't do that if you're dead, so Red X goes down.
And again, that's Fire just isolating the best target for the rockets, and just pouring on the fire until it gets a kill. And you'll love to see that kind of thing. Zeratul gets in the middle of the fray, gets a fire strike pick, gets off a normal pick, and just like that, the entire Illuzion plan is just shot.
Yeah, not a shot as Party Boy, though, and soon to be Jerry is, oh my gosh, no, he makes it out. Still.
Missed chance to stagger there, almost landed it.
They still staggered Party Boy, which is good, and they didn't allow the resurrect either. They pushed up, preventing it. Wow, Red X getting picked off again from the flank. Actually, no. Red X was trying to flank, but got caught out. Really got to be careful with stuff like that.
Yeah, at this point, you've got to just pull back enough so that you can get all 6 players up at the same time, because if you're about to lose somebody else to fire going flanking like that exactly, that's just going to delay your push even more. They're already at 35%. You can't really wait much longer to start your first real push.
Yeah, for real. This is definitely not ideal. Now they getting close to the Earth Shatter. Actually, they're getting close to the ultimate. They can actually make some real moves here. They're gonna throw up the ice wall to split the team up. Earth Shatter's only gonna find Red, but he ends up being protected. Doesn't matter though. Fire's gonna kill Party Boy. this push is still definitely not in favor of Illusion. They need to pull back right now.
So this
Fire's
is one
just
thing
messing
that
up.
Forever does that I love. A lot of the time when you have a Pharah ult, the whole chainsaw is, if you get one kill, that's fine because you're going to trade, because if you ult, you die. What Fire does really well is he pairs the barrage with other ults that distract the other team. He got a little aggressive and got picked off there in the normal course of play, but the ult usage is really on point for Fire so far this match.
Oh, without a doubt. Ooh, huge Earth Shatter. Actually finds a lot of people. Bazem gets killed for it. Blizzard not going to really find anything. The team's protected by Dark's Transcendence, but still, the kills are definitely rolling in for Illusion, and as long as they can take care of Fire before he does his classic frag, they can definitely take this point.
Yeah, and again, Fire probably a little bit over-optimistic there, but given the match they've had, I can't really blame them that much.
Yeah, especially your whole team's dead. You might as well build some ult charge and just hard reset.
And they've got so much point. They've got 94% of the map. They can afford a dry push into the point, bait out the ult combo, and go in with their own set of ults on the next push if they want to.
Yeah, without a doubt. It would guarantee a wipe, though, because Dark did use the Transcendence, so it's probably the combo we're going to see in the next one. Oh, huge grab. Got so many people. Yep, that's going to be 4 down. Dark is on the side. Doesn't look like anyone notices or is going to chase him. Ooh,
Yep, and that's the dry push. So that's exactly what they were hoping, minus the Fire getting picked apart. But now in their next push, they're going to be able to set up their own wombo combo, and Fire's got that distraction barrage ready and waiting. So I would expect Fire to start either flanking or taking a not so obvious route through, being a little bit of a distraction, trying to avoid the Hanzo, and just waiting for the Graviton Surge to hit before barraging from another angle entirely.
Pretty huge pick, forcing the Reset right away. Illusion really wants to separate, though, to prevent this exact
Yeah, exactly like that.
Actually, but the Dragon Strike still manages to find two. Despite the Lucio ult coming through, he does get resurrected. They do need to start making some moves, get something going in their favor. Party Boy and Basil go down. Oh, they get the kill on the January. That's actually really big. Both supports. Yeah, it looks like they're going to hold here. Illusion at 75%. Definitely a shaky start, but this is all right.
And they're only going to have one push left, Forever is, to get on this point because it's already at 80%. And there, the ult combos just, the 3 ults that they used didn't really synchronize well enough. Or more accurately, I think Illuzion knew it was coming and was able to position to avoid the worst of the damage.
Definitely. Now Redex has the Blizzard coming into this next fight, and it's honestly huge. As long as they can guarantee 1 kill with it, they'll probably be okay. However, actually, nobody gets caught in it. Oh, but it doesn't matter. They're forced out of that area. Zoning Blizzard. We're just seeing all sorts of wild animals today.
Yeah, it's the calls in the chat for C9. No, that's not a C9. That's a good use of an ult to zone out a team.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely need to make some kind of educational video on just what is a C9. I hear that way too often.
Yeah, but at this point, is that a C9 is becoming as much of a meme as the original C9 is. So I kind of feel like that would backfire.
Good point. However, actually, I would love to see that guy looking at the butterfly. Is this the C9?
Ooh, are we going to get to see Brigitte for the first time so far? Zumba is on Brigitte. We saw her a little bit on the prior map, but we haven't seen her for a while.
Yeah, and they are running, Zumba is running it in the DPS slot. Probably the best way to do it, since Hanzo is still a pretty strong DPS, and all that synergistic combinations you can use with the Brigitte definitely makes it worth trading out the DPS. However, Party Boy, their only real DPS, again, falls to Fire, forcing the Resurrect out. Zumba, Xeratal trading pins.
Yeah, that's excellent target prioritization by Fire, because Fire could see pretty quickly with the recon. There was only one DPS and only one threat to Fire, so instead of going after a healer like you would usually do as far on a flanking mission, went straight for the Hanzo, because once Hanzo was dead, not a lot that could hurt Fire until Fire got a little too close to the ground and got in Zarya's way.
Definitely. That's the problem looking for him there. Oh, Dragon Strike coming out is actually going to find 2. So although the Forever didn't win this point, it looks like they're going to be able to take it back really quickly. Party Boy's going to fall. Yep. Oh, no. Red X uses the Graviton.
Uses it without any follow-up. That was a desperation ult, I'll call it. I think Red X thought that they had another DPS with them, or at least somebody backing them up, because there was nothing else. And yeah, you've got to pair that with something.
Yeah, at least pair it with the rest of your team. Oh, a huge stagger on the party boy. Oh my gosh, and they're gonna just run the rocket barrage for even further stagger on the Zumba. They're pushing so far up like they always do. Man, they're just getting stagger after stagger.
But here's the thing, now that Zumba has Brigitte's ult ready, they can pop that rally and start off with a bank of 100 armor for this next push. So if I were Forever, I would definitely start inching a little bit backwards towards the point, because you want to keep pressure on them to keep them from building a lot of armor, but here it goes.
Yep, Brigitte armor coming in. Everybody's all ready to go here. Probably going to see the rocket barrage in the next fight. Actually, Earth Shatter coming out as well as the rocket barrage. Not going to find much here from the Graviton. However, Zeratul gets an Earth Shatter, and it allows his team to follow up, get the rest of the kills. 3 down on Illuzion here. 1 more is going to go as well. It's pretty much
that was a whole bunch of ults going off at one time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to commend Forever here for intelligently saving a lot of ults. They only used the ults that they needed. They've still got 4 up compared to Illuzion's 1. That's going to make it an extremely tall order for them to retake this point. I think Forever's got this.
Again, another deep ultimate here. Fire actually getting value from it. Illusion's going to swap over to the dive comp here. Going to run
They've got to just
Tracer.
get the point.
Yeah, they're looking to, take advantage of some mobility here. It could work out, however, they did sacrifice a lot of ult charge, to get to this comp, but it doesn't, with only like 7 seconds left, they might not even make it to the point in time.
Yeah, you got to get Winston in there, got to get Diva in there.
Yeah, okay, dive's coming in. Oh, however, the Dragon Strike is going to come out. Vasim's Dragon Strike's actually going to get eaten, so that's huge. Dart's Transcendence come out. Going to keep the team up. Party Boy kills Vasim, though, with the headshot. Oh, Jerry going down. It's really bad. Once you lose your Mercy, things are going to start to fall apart, and it shows Illusion is going down 1 by 1.
First Strike's about to come out.
If they even need it. Straightology and Red X at the same time as that meter goes down and the objective's secured.
That's one way to win a team fight. Yeah, it's also a little bit telling when you have people holding ults at the end of an all-out brawl like that to win a point. It's kind of, yeah, I didn't even need this to win it. So he developed that Earth Strike partway through the final fight. Never had a target that he preferred it to just swinging his hammer on.
Yeah, that's right. And honestly, it's just, it could even be seen as like a testament to their discipline. They hold ults as the way they always do. Even in that last fight when it honestly would have been acceptable to just throw it all out there. They're like, nope, we'll only use it if we need it. And as you said,
so now we're on Boop City. So you've got Orissas, you got Lucios, you've got Pharos. Forever is going all in with 4 environmental kill capable characters once you include Roadhog. They want to appease the pit.
Hey, I mean, if you count the mines too, Zumba on the Junkrat could be counted as somewhat of a Boop City resident.
Absolutely. It's going to be who's able to get the... Ooh, Fire's going to assert dominance as far early here.
Yeah, it's pretty much what he's been doing the entire time, especially now that there's an enemy Fire. He's probably just giddy about it. Oh, huge hook into the pick by
Red X
Zeratul.
wins the contest to be first to appease the pit.
Yeah, and it looks like Forever's going to capture the point as a result. Zumba's going to get staggered. That just really sucks. Oh, but Dart's actually going to go down to total mayhem, and Jerry's going to go down to himself.
And did I just see Strafology on Zenyatta effectively win a one-on-one versus a Roadhog and drive that Roadhog off to save his own life? That's pretty impressive.
I believe that's exactly what you saw.
So yeah, that's actually going to be a huge benefit to Illuzion, is it saves a lot of stagger time that otherwise would have really crippled them. So that lets them make this first push here a lot sooner than they otherwise would have.
For sure. Now they're making their way over. Actually, it looks like they might try to rotate, or they seem a little unsure. Junk Tire is going to come out here from Zumba. This one really needs to go huge here. Oh, despite the fortifies, Hugo still falls. Kills getting traded both sides. Dragon Strike comes out, isn't going to find anybody. However, Zeratul is going to get the environmental kill and the kill on the Yumu, but it doesn't really matter, actually. Straightforward is the only one on point. They almost captured it. Still, January is prevented from resurrecting. Really just Vasim left on the point, who actually wins the crucial 1v1 for them to
January was the sacrificial distraction there. Looked like they were going to try to resurrect Hugo to get some of that tankiness on the point, but it ends up that all they needed was somebody to eat bullets while Vasim walked onto the point.
Yeah, pretty much. But they actually got a pretty good hill on the Basin here. So now it's going to be a 6v5. No way he can get resurrected.
Yeah, this is Illuzion's real chance to take the point back and arrest the progress towards a complete swipe here.
Yeah, especially with the kill on the fire. It is looking really good for them. Oh, huge barrage. Doing a lot of damage on the party boy here.
Dueling mauls.
Yeah, they're going to bring out the Valkyrie just for good measure. They're going to stall, but it doesn't really matter. Forever's
Strafe got an excellent shot there on January mid-all to take her down. Got softened up a little bit by the rest of the team, but Strafology landed a few balls there to knock her out of the sky.
Yeah, really important for yours and the out of the flag. Oh, that is so painful. Shield came down like a fraction of a second too slow.
Yeah, now in the wake of that, Forever's got to be thinking quickly push, and by the converse is that Illuzion has to be thinking to stall it out here. That's what Red X is doing with the whole hog. Just buy time.
Man, and of all people to go down, they had to lose Jerry. This is really bad. This dunk tire has to go absolutely huge if they want to hold this.
Party Boy does right-click Zeratul off, though.
Yeah,
so excellent hold here by Illuzion. When they went down 6-5, it might have gone bad. Hugo's going to just walk off the pit. A little bit of a speculative halt just in case she saw anything. Was going to try to pull somebody into the pit with her. Instead, it's just a reset.
Yeah, and they're although Forever does have more ultimates here, yeah, they do have the. We're probably going to see the Dragon Strike into this next.
They do have more. They don't have a lot of combos though.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, and it looks like Party Boy's going to fly in there, just throw the rocket barrage. However, it is largely countered by Darth's sound barrier. However, the kills are starting to roll in here for Forever. They're going to throw the bongos down, and actually they're going to make a run for capturing this point. You know, it's 2 and versus almost 6. The rest of Forever's here. This isn't looking really good, but it just depends on how well Red X install. It looks like not a second more. Him and Jerry go down. The point is going to flip. Overtime's going to start. Can they get onto the point? Yumu's not even trying.
They cannot. And that's going to be Nepal. That's going to be 2-1 to Forever and Ever. So that's going to be the third map to them as well. So that's effectively 2-1 to Forever and Ever.
Yeah, that's definitely the end. We're going to go to the next map any second now.
Yeah, our caster went to best of 5 so we could be sure to see all 3 points. So just getting out of that here. So we did see a fairly close map. We saw a lot of times both teams were a lot more comfortable on attack than defense. I'll put it a little tactfully. Why do you think that was? Why did both of these teams prefer the assault?
Sorry, say that again.
So we saw both teams be a lot more comfortable attacking than defending. Why do you think that is?
I think it's a coordination thing, really. I think an important thing with defense, you're usually always on the back foot in terms of spawn. And when that's the case, like as soon as you lose a team fight, or if you lose a team fight way too handedly, you just immediately lose the point. And since the two teams are running trials, it could explain the lack of the minor lack of synergy that could cause such a thing.
So we are sorting out what's going to be happening next here. So please just bear with us for a minute.
Yeah, if anything, we should probably just go to a break until we set that up.
And welcome back. We actually have a second scrim for you tonight before we sign off. Illuzion, the team from the last scrim, is going to be playing another team, Snafu, trying out somebody else. They're going to be bringing in another player because they're still trying to settle on their format. So we don't know a lot about Snafu because of a bit of a communications breakdown, but we're going to cast them anyway. It's fine. We will learn about them through play.
That's right. What better way to learn through watching them through the fires of Overwatch? No?
So we are going to be going to King's Row first instead of repeating the same map pool. So King's Row, one of everybody's favorite maps. It's a sentimental favorite of mine because for a long time it was the only one where you saw anything other than dive absolutely every single time.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that was all. Yeah, that actually used to be like one of pure joy. It's like, oh my god, I get to play Reinhardt and not be considered throwing.
And in my case, it was I can play Zarya now and not have people scream at me. So
Yeah,
now in this current meta, it's not quite as unusual a map, even though it's got a lot of the geometry features that used to make it the outlier. It's got the constrained horizontal space, the open vertical space. In this meta, what do you think is the things that really work the best on King's Row now compared to back in the dive meta?
I think you could really make a run with the double sniper. I still think the map is good for people like Widowmaker and Hanzo. It's got the good angles, pretty decent sight lines, just so many different high grounds for you to position and reposition yourself. So I think it does definitely work out in the favor of double sniper. That's given what we've seen the teams run, at least given what we've seen from Illusion. I bet it's something they'll consider playing.
So we are going to start out with Snafu on attack first on red and Illuzion defending first on blue. So given that there's going to be a little bit of a disparity in how ready one of the teams are, as we have a lovely picture of Mondada there on screen, do you expect to see Illuzion start off strong compared to Snafu?
Yeah, I mean, I think King's Row is one of the few maps where you can honestly just go balls to the walls if you really want to, because more so than other maps, you have such a strong spawn advantage. Like it's right there. It's such a short distance between spawn and play. You can just throw your team in there; they'll be back in literally 8 seconds.
Yeah, and so as we start to see the teams get a little bit set up here on defense, it doesn't look like Illuzion's going to be bringing anything particularly unusual to the party. They're going to be bringing triple support with Brigitte in a DPS role, as we saw a little bit of in the last scrim. On the first point here, to me, this comp looks like one that could be punished by a Pharah, but I just don't know if Snafu's got a Pharah on the caliber of fire.
Yeah, either they don't have it or it's not something they're interested in running here. They just got the usual,
Well, they are debating us a little with joke picks. I think they're finally settled now, though.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, is that Symmetra real? The time is running out here. But no, they're going to run Lucio Zen with the break. So they're trying to...
Yeah, it's going to be a similar to Goat's comp where it's going to be triple tank, triple support, and just get on the point ASAP, like the old Slambulance comp.
Yeah, I do wonder about that sort of composition here.
It's going pretty well so far.
Yeah, I think that's mostly because Otto was a little aggro. Probably shouldn't have gone for that pin despite what it got from him because, again, spawn event is so good here for the attacking team. Especially losing your main tank so early is quite honestly just a guarantee that you're going to lose.
Yeah, that is fair, and they're going to get a pretty good stagger run here. There is Mercy. As they push forward, they were also able to build a whole lot of ult, despite that being a fairly short team fight. So we're probably going to see a cascade of ults really early in this first push. And they're being extremely aggressive, pushing up to the second, even the third turn here, leaving one person back on the payload to push it. I really like the pressure-heavy comp here.
Yeah, and like you said before, it's definitely working. Party Boy goes down. They're pushing even further.
So they've bullied them all the way back to halfway through point 3. And at this point, they're going to burn an Earth Shatter. I think Illuzion just has to calm down again. It looks like they're getting shook a little again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can understand the frustration being held so strongly, literally being forced back to your own spawn. My God, they wiped it.
Forced
They
back
killed every one of
2
them.
spawns.
Right, yeah, exactly. Because of that, one person moving the payload is already more than half the distance, and they built so many ults because of that aggression.
Yeah, and Irish Taxi Cab's just having himself a dance party on the payload, and now they're going to put one of their other supports back and keep holding pretty far forward. So they think they can at least win a 4v6 for long enough here.
Well, if they can contest the point, we can see the grab Dragon Strike come in here. Actually, that's exactly what we're going to see. However, Irish Taxi Cab is going to bring out the Transcendence. However, Ike still dies from it. They're going to make it to the point here, actually. Earthshatter comes out, gets a few, but he dies. Zumba does get the rally.
Almost solo ult there as Brigitte just desperately trying to hold the payload before it hits point B, I think.
Seems like it's working. You know, Illusion's actually starting to get the kills into their favor here. Another Dragon Strike, wow, from Party Boy. Not going to find anything but kind of just one last act of aggression, like, hey, back off, we have this. It's time for you to regroup.
I do love that desperation stand by Illuzion. It's exactly what they needed to do. Now they need to push a little forward, get some recon, because they're going to be, it's going to be a dry defense except for that rally that Zumba just popped, giving everyone a little bit of armor. There are going to be ults coming out from Snafu coming up. So Undream is also going to pop rally and give everyone defense. This is going to be a big old beefy party of a fight with everyone having all that armor.
For sure, lots of swinging. Soldier Chicken already has the Earth Shatter. It's going to come down. Oh, so many people falling already. They're definitely going to take this point. Red X is going to fall. Only the supports are left, and you know they're going to stagger them.
Yeah, they've got to. And you know, Jerry made a noble attempt to get back to the team, but nothing quite doing. Still, they were able to win one good team fight and stall out for. They saved at least a minute there by that defense. So now, as it rounds the third corner, they're probably going to let that payload get to this final turn before really making their stand. They do have Graviton. Party Boy does almost have Dragon Strike. That's the basic, obvious combo they're probably going for first.
That's right, yep. They did get 4 into the Graviton. Dragon Strike's going to come through. Oh, wow, that's 5. Definitely a good hold here. They're gonna
good instincts by Badger, just dropping off the face of the earth as soon as he saw those dragons come out.
Yeah, absolutely. Did not want to feed, did not want to waste any
That's
time.
actually going to catalyze a couple swaps. Ike's going to switch over to Mercy there. And as they round the corner, Otto's being sneaky. Otto's being sneaky.
Oh, he's going to land a Fat Shatter. Nobody sees him. Oh, huge 4-man Earth Shatter. Not as much ball as you would like, but it doesn't matter. The kills are still rolling in. Oh, they must be kicking.
Bold.
That's bold.
Nobody looked behind them, and why would you? Nobody ever does that at this level.
Yeah, you're right, but I'll be damned. Illusion did it. They did that. Didn't mention before, but Zumba is actually on the Widowmaker here. Actually already built the infra site. A little tough to shoot into such a tank-heavy comp, but still, definitely could make it work. Graviton Surge comes out. Both teams are going to drop the Transcendence, so the whole hog from Badger's not going to find anything. Oh, huge pick onto Ike, however. Another Earth Shatter coming in here.
A very good hold, and that took a lot of ults out of Snafu, and they didn't get a lot of value for it. I think the big problem was that they didn't have enough things that they could pair with that Graviton Surge when it came out. They didn't have a Dragon Strike that deals enough damage to overcome Transcendence. Because that was the problem. They tried to pair it with Whole Hog. The Whole Hog was not enough to overcome the Transcendence there.
No, it definitely isn't. That's not the way you do want to run it. It's got to be the Hanzo plus all that extra damage from your team. Oh,
Which is
Zumba.
exactly what Illuzion has for this next defense.
Yeah, Zumba, absolute monster. Getting the huge pick onto Ike. Now the team's got to back off and wait. They actually, Illusion actually, wow, another kill on the Slash. Illusion has the grab Dragon Strike once again. So they actually look like they're pretty good for this next fight.
Yeah, a team can go far just by running Azari and a Hanzo in this meta and having those two players work together. To an extent, that'll win you a guaranteed 2 team fights per map. I mean, you only need a few more to be able to make a pretty respectable showing.
That's right. And since Diva's so out of meta, you know, no one's around to eat it. Oh, huge Graviton's gonna find 4 members there. Zumba does get taken down, but it doesn't matter. Party Boy gets revenge for him.
Yeah, and now we flip over to the other side and Snafu's pretty far from getting their own ult combo off. Salty Chicken does have Earth Strike almost ready. I'm not sure if they're going to want to use it for this first push, though. You might be wanting to do a dry push.
Auto Dog again.
Oh, really?
Huge. Oh, but Auto Dog's the one to go down instead. Oh, Earth Shatter comes from the other side. However, Red X immediately gets the pick, but it doesn't matter. It looks like Snafu is getting the kills in their favor. Zumba's going to pop the Infra Sight, but it doesn't matter. Only one left is Jerry and Party Boy. They need to be careful right now. Party Boy really wants to be the hero here. However, he's going to suffer for it.
Yeah, it's always a risk to try a sneaky strat twice in a row because most teams will be able to figure out the second time running and watch for it.
Yeah. Oh, Dragon Strike holding the members up by the spawn doors here. The only one on the point is Auto. Couldn't get healed in time. Ooh, really good pin. Transcendence can't out heal that. Straight Fall is the only one left on the point, and it looks like that's going to be it.
So yeah, they're going to win this with about 42 seconds left on the clock, which, that's respectable. It's just not what we thought we were going to see after the stomping that came through most of round 2. Illuzion, they made the swaps. They were able to change their tactics to work around what Snafu was showing them. So I really have to give them credit for their ability to adapt to what Snafu was showing.
Yeah, absolutely. They really did manage to defy our expectations. Zumba really showed up on the Widowmaker too.
Absolutely had a pretty good run, getting a lot of early picks, getting a lot of staggers, just generally being the Jackal cleaning up after everyone else. Not a lot of, I saw solo good plays from Zumba, but working extremely well with the team. And that's really all you need out of a Widow in this meta, especially when you have a Hanzo.
Yeah, for sure. There's too much work for her. There's another sniper on your team who can pick up the slack, but still, even just getting a key pick once in a while is so huge in determining this outcome of a team fight.
Absolutely. And so we're about to see Snafu for the first time on defense. Given that they played such a extremely aggressive, coordinated push to start out with on attack, what kind of defense do you think plays into that sort of mentality?
Well, I would imagine somewhat tanky defense. At least we see them here on the Rhine Zarya. Chances are they're going to run an aggressive defense. As soon as they get the pick going for them, they're immediately just going to put the pressure on and start pushing. Probably, I would bet they're the type to push back into spawn.
Yeah, if they can, because they're bringing a comp that they do have some good ult combos. They've got a Zarya and they've got a Hanzo. They are bringing 2 DPS, so they're pairing Junkrat with Hanzo. I think they're expecting a lot of shield spam, but they're not really going to get it from Illuzion's attack. So this might be a good comp pick from Illuzion to counter what Snafu's showing.
It is tough though because no shield tank. A lot of that Junkrat spam is going to be taken to your face. However, Red X can eat some, but still, I guess this could work for them if they manage to break Salty Chicken's shield fast enough.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of a little bit divey. I don't know what that D.Va is going to be doing aside from providing defense matrix, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Red X going into the backline to try to get a pick here soon.
Well, it does kind of work out. It seems like they're kind of avoiding them, playing around walls and stuff, using kind of the walls as a bit of shield. Not getting too aggressive, however, Red X is going to lose the mech. That's really huge. Party Boy gets a kill, but the Junkrat tire is going to come out. Oh, Party Boy catches the ulting Junkrat, though. Even though he does get the kill, they are actually going to cap the point. 2 ticks already in, and they're going to get the third.
Yeah, but the kill was a baby D.Va, and at that point, how much does it really matter?
Well, yeah, that's right. Not a whole lot.
And so Illuzion's also going to try their own extremely aggressive push here. They're also going to push 3, 4, 5 people up forward, leave 1 person on or near the payload. They're having a little bit harder time of it so far, though, because I think Snafu's wise to the ways of the aggressive hold. They're not letting themselves get caught and bullied backwards. They're pulling all the way back.
Yeah, it's definitely the way you want to do it, especially now that they've got that opposing kill on the Party Boy. They can definitely start moving up. They're lacking so much damage now than they were before. Although, actually, they're going to go for the Resurrect, so they could still keep this up if they really wanted to.
They could. I think it would be a mistake if they did, though. I think it's time to slowly give ground and get their 6-person on for a full team fight rather than try to win a 5v6.
Yeah, indeed, especially without a shield tank. However, they're going to face one of the worst limitations of this comp. Auto is going to go down, but the limitations I speak of is now they have no answer for Salty's Earth Shatter. Literally no way to stop it.
They do. On the other hand, Snafu's got an ungodly number of ults too, so it doesn't have to just be Earth Shatter. They've got about 3 different ways, even with Junkrat going down, to win a team fight here.
Yep, snipers are going to be getting trades on both sides. However, the kills seem to favor Snafu. It looks like they're actually starting to pull them back here. Just a little
Zumba's
over
going
halfway.
to swap over to... And Zumba's on Widow now.
Yeah, it looks like they want to run the double sniper, realizing the Junkrat really isn't going to work, although their problem might just be the lack of shield.
So right now, what Illuzion is really doing is they're looking for openings for the ults like this. So they're trying to find places where they can use that ult bank, and it's not going so well for them so far.
No, it's really not. I see Red X going to try and eat that Demon Bomb. Valiant effort indeed, but...
Noble effort, and in the end, what really hurts Illuzion is that they just used 4 ults and got basically nothing for it in a fight where they used 4 ults versus 2. When you out-ult a team by 2 ults and still don't win it, that's extremely painful to the economy of the game.
It is, and now they're going to swap to the Reinhardt. They realize this isn't working. They're going to play the Rein
And
Zarya.
Zumba swapped over to Junkrat as well.
Yep, now they have all this extra beef. Oh, but the Earthshatter's going to come, and auto goes down to the Junkrat tire. Wow.
Well, being optimistic, they did get Snafu to use 2 ults. They did get the Valkyrie out. They did get the Riptire out. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be pushing into Dragons, and if they give Badger even half a chance, they're going to be pushing into the Wombo combo, and they don't have any ults of their own. So at this point, the name of the game for Illuzion has got to be build your own ults.
Yeah, indeed. Time really is not on their side, especially not this ultimate economy. Switching your comp just recently is really a big problem here. They need to get in there, build some ult charge.
Yeah, and especially they're going to be looking at Party Boy, trying to hope that he can get some Storm Arrows off, get some damage, charge that ult a little bit faster than he's able to do right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Red X only 33, doesn't seem to be the highest. Oh, but he can't charge if he's dead.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt them. I would say they should be pulling back, but they don't really have time to pull back and full reset right now. They're going to get caught out and staggered.
Yeah, that is really painful. Oh, well, it isn't too bad. I'm not dying.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, just let me be positive, okay? I can be nice. But
I'll be nice.
Yeah.
They're doing extremely well on defense here, and I'll put it that way. Snafu they've clearly got a good plan for the defense, and they're executing.
Yeah, really good with their ult economy. They're using them so well. They always make sure they have a few in the bank. They have 3. Oh, Strafe goes down. However, Zumba has a chance to redeem him. Doesn't seem like he's going to do it, but Party Boy does it instead. Kills Undream. They're finally starting to make some progress here. Junkrat Tire doesn't end up finding anything. However, they do have some ults going for them. They actually have the Wombo combo themselves.
Yeah, they're pretty close to it. That Junkrat Tire was trying to search out the Mercy. It just took a little bit too long to get the recon on where the Mercy actually was.
And
what can you say about another Wombo combo at this point? I mean, Irish Taxicab does get the Transcendence off, mitigates a lot of the damage, and then the res on Salty Chicken, they're able to turn the fight around despite that Wombo combo coming out. They're going to have one more push, and they're only going to have Transcendence to do it.
Yeah, that's right. Salty Chicken being the only one going down, despite investing so much, wouldn't have been the worst. However, the Transcendence allowing...
We have a late swap. Party Boy is going to be going over to Far here at the death. And it's a good pick. It probably should have come out a little earlier, though. And he's going to get picked off by Slash almost immediately. That's not what they were hoping for.
Definitely not. This is what I was saying before. The Hanzo really can deal with the Pharah. You just got to land your shots. He did it, and so did Undream.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty much the map as we see one last Graviton Surge Dragon combo for old time's sake to close out the map.
Yeah, just for the sake of nostalgia. Strafe going to force out the overtime, but it
bit of a back cap going on, though.
Yeah, well, can't even manage to get a kill.
Valiant effort there by Strafology, though.
Oh, absolutely. But that's Snafu.
So overall, there are things to take the good for from Illuzion, but overall, Snafu with a pretty commanding win on King's Row here.
Ooh, absolutely. Not even halfway on sub point 2.
As we see the replay here, the ever rare Mercy play of the game. And Ike did a very good job. We didn't say their name a whole lot, but they were doing an excellent job shuttling between their teammates back and forth, making sure that a lot of the kills that Illuzion was able to get, they just got reversed fairly quickly. Excellent cooldown management, I'll say.
Yeah, you know, people who say Mercy's a brain dead hero are a little salty that she was meta for so long. She isn't. She's not easy.
She's not, and people are starting to come back to her after, for a little while, they kind of drifted away after the nerfs. Now people are filtering back onto Mercy because she's still the best single target healer there is.
Yeah, people realized whining about nerfs that didn't actually ruin her. They're like, oh, you know what? Never mind. She's still great. What am I saying?
We are going to go to Route 66 next for a pure payload map. So that's going to be interesting. I really do like how aggressively Snafu is pushing during the payload parts of King's Row. So I'm going to be watching that to see if that first push has as much emphasis behind it as the first push on King's Row did. It is a different geometry. It's a lot more wide open on the first 2 points, especially in Streets phase. That high ground control is always critical. It's going to be really interesting to see how Snafu's preferred comps mesh with that.
Yeah, agreed. Although they could even just run something a little different altogether, but we'll really have to see if they can deal with. Because you said it's pretty good sight lines here. If they can deal with the probable snipers that we're going to see from Illuzion, it's probably going to be a lot similar to King's Row.
Yeah, and one of the things about King's Row is how different the final point is from the first two. It's one of the maps that I'd say has the biggest different and preferred metas and strategies from one end of the map to another. And there's always the question of, well, when you get to point C, are you going to start doing switches, or are you just going to keep going with what got you there? And that's always a fascinating little mini game I love to see play out in these scrims, is who's confident enough on what they pick for the first 2 points to not make any swamps on the final point.
Yeah, it really does depend, I suppose, but I think that's part of the meta we're at, really, because now it's so diverse. It really becomes, in a way, point dependent. But yeah, you could make one comp work all the way through. I don't think there's anything wrong with swapping towards the end, though, if you do have some sort of strategy in mind, not just randomly swapping.
Not at all. And Zumba has been a hero that has been on a whole lot of different heroes throughout the entire match, and now we're seeing him on McCree. So that's something that I really do like to see. I think that the flashbang is going to be critical. I think they're expecting some, maybe not dive, but heroes that can be effectively countered by that flashbang.
Yeah, definitely something to look out for here. Zumba did prove, like you said before, very competent hit scan player. I'm sure there's plenty of work to be done here. And he's playing with this kind of really static defense comp where he can't get left behind.
Absolutely. They're going all in on a static defense on top of big Earls. And Snafu is going to be bringing a Tracer. So the first time that Tracer runs into Zumba on McCree, Tracer could be having a very bad day.
For sure. Tracer Widow dive. Really interesting. Really interesting comp to run into this one. It's definitely doable.
The question is, I don't think they realize the Tracer's behind them, and Tracer's about to come up.
Oh, that's really huge. They got to watch out. Zumba, the only one. Oh, actually misses the flashbang, and oh my goodness, gets the kill on Jerry. The worst person for Illuzion to lose. However, the kills are somewhat rolling for them. However, Badger does get resurrected, so it doesn't really matter. He makes it back into the mech. The payload is moving.
Yeah, the plan there was a dive from 2 axes at once. The timing was just a little bit off, though. So even though the flashbang got missed, Illuzion didn't get completely wiped out by that dive. It was good enough, but as the Snafu goes back and look at this, I think they're going to see something to work on in the timing of the dive.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the synergy for dive is, the peak is so high, there's always refinement to be done.
And we've got a swap. We've got Otto switching to Rhine instead of Orisa for the streets, which is a good call. Orisa's not at her best on the streets phase here.
Yeah, and definitely not a response you want to have to the dive comp. Being so static, it's so easy to take advantage of her lack of mobility.
Zumba is still on McCree, though that may just be because he's 95% high noon. We may see him swap after he gets the first chance to really ult well. So right now, this is all going to be about the high ground control, who's able to keep it. Dive's going to come in with multiple tanks and immediately pick off Strafe, so that's going to be a really, really bad thing for Illuzion.
Indeed, you know, I agree. He was probably waiting to hold the high noon. Still, I would say it's questionable as the, you know, Deadeye's not the greatest ultimate. It's not really worth wasting the time, in my opinion. However, I really
he's not going to switch, so the entire discussion's moot. But Otto is going to try a third main tank as he swaps over to Winston. Now Zumba's going to go over to Tracer. So they're starting to shift comps again. Right now, they're just having a really hard time dealing with Snafu's attack, and I think they're just swapping comps around, trying to figure out something that can at least slow down Snafu. That's not the way. Oh my goodness.
That is definitely not the way. Huge triple kill onto Illuzion, and it's going to guarantee them making it to the third point. 5.5 minutes left.
Yeah, that might be play of the game. I'll just put it that way. Whenever you get a triple kill with a pulse bomb, that's something that any Tracer player, they just smile and nod to themselves when that comes back up.
Oh, he's probably real giddy about that.
Yeah, and they've got a really good setup of ults here. Aldream's going to get a quick pick off on the Tracer, which is really going to hurt Illuzion's defense. But they've got the wall hacks up. That's going to really help them ferret out Strafology right now. And there goes the dive onto him. So Strafe is going to run.
Yeah, now it's pretty much the tanks coming in, going to peel and protect him, which is really useful. Jerry's going to pop the Valkyrie. Going to keep the team up, hopefully allow them to get a little more aggressive, finally get a hold here. You know, they haven't really prevented the payload from moving this entire time.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And, you know, one of those things is when you're a healer that's kind of on their own and you hear the walls come out, it's time to panic. And very good placement of the Winston shield there, by the way, to deny the Diva ult. So as we see that Winston shield's kind of zoning, we still see Snafu pushing here. They've invested most of their ults. They still do have Primal Rage. They're not really needing it, though, because Undream is just popping off.
Yeah, it really is. You know, they aren't really dealing with him. They've given him so much room. They kind of just focus. They kind of are a little split with their focus here, and because of that, it just gives Undream all the room to work as much as he wants. Isn't even going to... Party Boy isn't going to get anything for Dragon Strike either. Dragon Blade. Pulse Bomb's not going to find anything on Zumba. Auto Dog is going to go down. Same with Red X. It looks like they're not really going to find anything. Oh, 30 Pulse
Yeah,
Bomb
they're just trying to stall now, and it's not going to be able to be stalled for very long.
Yeah, one last-ditch effort here from Party Boy and Otto, but it's really all for naught. Otto's going to go down, and they're going to... Oh, nope, Red X is still here. The team's actually starting to kind of flood onto the point. However, Diva Bomb is going to come out. I don't think it's going to be able to do much.
Yep. A whole lot of red in the kill feed. So yeah, a good 5 minutes left on the clock. It's a pretty dominant push by Snafu.
Yeah, no.
So again, Illuzion's kind of behind the 8-ball, but whereas on King's Row they were able to punish Snafu when they pushed up a little too aggressively, here there was no really comparable moment of, okay, you've overextended and we're going to punish it. It was just Snafu keeping their shape the entire way through, not really getting anyone into a vulnerable position, not really giving Illuzion an excuse to get a good team fight win.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we were wondering what they were going to run here. Them running the dive comp actually leads me to believe that I think this is their favorite comp. They actually play this really impressively well. You know, you could see Slash Kato on the Tracer. Every time he was about to flank, you know, he never went in on his own. He was so coordinated with the tanks. Except for that first push, like every single time you would watch Slash, you could see like it was definitely communicated with the team. It's like, I'm ready, and they all converge on the same point.
Yeah, that is one thing I'm seeing. Snafus, they're very coordinated with each other. There's not a lot of people going off and doing their own thing. You didn't see almost any wasted ults. There were one or two that were a little bit shaky, but by and large, very good ult economy, very good coordination of ults. Not a lot of wasted effort in that push.
Yeah, definitely, and that's exactly what you want here. Now they're gonna run. Actually, they're gonna run the Orisa defense with the Diva and a Brig.
It's an unusual comp. It's very unusual. They've got Undream on Widow as their only DPS. Based on that push, I'd say that's probably not the worst idea if Undream can keep popping up. What I really think they're doing, though, is they're going to try to build Slash's ult as quickly as they can. I think they're going for the full hold. I think that's what they're approaching this defense with the mindset of. They think they're good enough to full hold.
Definitely possible. I think if the enemy ran any like regular comp, that's probably what would happen. But they're running a triple tank Bastion with two main healers, so this is
It's
a little
pirate ship
this is
on Route 66.
this isn't even a pirate ship I've seen. You know, so much shield break here. Now you can tell they're not really expecting it. They have to be super careful with how they run this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a comp that there are obvious switches due to counter. I'd expect to see somebody on Junkrat pretty quickly as soon as one of the DPSs goes down. Or they could just have Zenyatta kill a Bastion. That's fine too.
Hey, actually, I really like that plan. I was wondering why Snafu was just standing there behind the sign, not really doing anything. They waited for the payload to move pretty much right up to the sign, so they rotated around and took advantage of the fact that Orisa can't turn the shield since it's deployable. So they just went right up behind. He was unprotected, and they all died.
Yeah, and you know, it's so hard when you're doing a payload push on a road that has this many twists and turns, this hairpin turn. You know, on some place like Junkertown, it's not quite a straight line, but there are no hairpin turns. It's a 90-degree. It's easier to keep a shield up in the right angle at all times.
That's right. Undream gonna get the kill on the Zumba. Looks like they all made a huge another kill onto Jerry. They're gonna make the swap to a more conventional composition here, running the Reinhardt Zarya, but they're still keeping two main healers. So we're not gonna really see any huge support.
Rally is probably about to come out pretty soon here. They're gonna want to start building that armor. Oh, Undream's gonna get picked. That's gonna throw a monkey wrench in things.
Yeah, it was until he got resurrected, and the armor is gonna come out from the Brigitte. Now they're holding on to the ground too, just behind front of the payload.
So we'll see when they feel threatened enough to burn an ult, but Salty does have the bongos. That might be one of the first things they pull out to get a stop. Yep, here it comes.
Yeah, just like you said, bongo does come out. They kill Otto, who is way too close for comfort. Now they have no shield tank, and all this damage we see here from Snafu. This is really not looking too good. Illusion rightfully disengages.
Again, go back to their thought process. I'm now pretty sure that their intent is to full hold. You know, to an extent, that's always the case. But here they're really investing in trying to full hold. So what they're doing is they're being very judicious with their ults. All they really used on that last push, Rally to start, Bongos to finish. They kept the Valkyrie, they kept the Self-Destruct, they kept the Transcend. They're not overusing ults. They're being very greedy with them. And as a result, they're still well set up here to deny the second push as well.
Yeah, they're using them so well here. They're always using, I wouldn't even say greedy. It just seems they're so disciplined. You want to throw your ultimates into them, but they're not doing it. And it's like you said, I'm with you. I think they do want to go for the full hold, and it is working. Oh, huge. The Graviton Surge, Dragon Surge is going to come, but yeah, Transcend comes through. The extra damage does manage to kill Undream. However, Resurrect comes clutch once again. Ooh, huge kills. Kill feed mostly red, although Zumba is starting to pop off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they've really got to rely on somebody to get the picks here, because frankly, nobody else in this comp has been having a very good time getting any at all. And as Irish picks them off with a good Zen volley, they've got one more chance, and they've got Coalescence. They're going to have Earth Shatter. It's going to be real hard. This is probably their best chance, though, given the state of the ults.
Yeah, it definitely is. As long as Otto can prevent himself from dying first, that's been happening before, he can really make it happen. Ooh, Zumba again, really starting to come alive, getting the pick. However, Undream resurrected once again. We're going to see the Coalescence come. They're just going to weather the storm, it seems, so not much value is going to be gotten out of it, actually. Overtime starts, they're pushing the payload, and now they really need to get here if they want to stop.
So are they going to really make... Yeah, they're going to really contest, and the Orisa Shield does deny the Earth Shatter, as they're going to fight on the point and try to... Yep, here comes Rally. They're going to try to build the Bongos up next. Here it comes.
Ooh, huge kill. Ike with the going Battle Mercy, killing Zumba. Jerry goes down too. This looks like this is it here. Diva Bomb's going to come out, but it doesn't matter. They're already wiping the rest of Illusion. Only one left is Strafology onto the point. Oh, never mind. Bodies flying. Round over.
Yeah, and that was just Snafu's confidence on display there. A lot of teams in that situation, they didn't have many ults. Illusion had almost a full team pushing it around the final curve. A lot of teams would have pulled back and set up on streets on the high ground. Snafu just said, no, we're going to hold here. We're not interested in going to streets phase. And they were able to pull it off. It was a little bit touch and go, but they were able to just pull it off.
Yeah, and just pull it off indeed. And you see Salty Chicken completely robbing play the game here from.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be that triple kill pulse bomb, but I guess when you have a Zenyatta pop off that much, the Jojonak rule says you've got to highlight that.
Yeah, understandable. Amazing how things have changed.
And so we are going to see one more map here from these two teams. Going to have some subs coming out from Illuzion. They are. So it is clear after these two maps there is a bit of skill discrepancy. Do you think that's mechanical or just coordination and comms?
Oh, I'm certain it's coordination and comms, because from what we've seen of Illusion, mechanically they're not bad. They play really well. Like that, especially Zumba. He's very good Widowmaker, good sniper in general. Party Boy's good. Like you can see the way they play that they have the hand-eye, the mechanical skill, but they're a little scattered in the way that they play. They sometimes invest too many ultimates into fights. It's a lot of the little things that add up that they need to work on here. That Snafu is pretty much got down.
So I think to an extent, though, in their defense, a big part of that is that they're trying out new people. So they're cycling in people in that 6th slot. Once again, they're bringing in Party Boy, so that's going to be a slightly different roster than we had last map. So as we go to Lijiang to end our cast here tonight on the 3rd map of a second scrim, I think that's probably to blame for some of the issues that we're seeing.
Yeah, that is a good point. New person really hurts the synergy, but you need new people. You need new people. You got to go through these things.
So we're just discussing in the game chat who's going to be subbing for who. We're also bringing in Soren for Otto. So a new main tank player for the Lijiang. So which of the 3 points on Lijiang are you most eager to see? I mean, for me, it's obviously Control Center, because Control Center is love. Control Center is life.
Wow, I'm a little surprised. I thought you were going to say Garden, just because of the boot potential there.
I do love the boops, but the Control Center is just such a great map with the contrast between the hallways coming in, the backfield, the huge open point, a lot of vertical space, a lot of horizontal space. It's just got that interesting mix of contrasts.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely with you. I do love Control Center. I have trouble deciding personally which one I like the most. I like every.
Well, at least we agree it's not Night Market.
No, yeah, I wouldn't single out Night Market specifically.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's neither of our favorites.
Yeah.
So the teams are going to be figuring out what they want to play here. We haven't seen a lot of far from either team so far. Do you think any of these points are going to be a little different? We're going to see any fars from either side? I don't think that Snafu's interested in far, to be blunt.
No, yeah, it seems like it, especially now that we're here on a pretty far favored map. Even among Koth maps, we're still not seeing it. It's pretty safe to say they're just not interested. However, the comp that they're running is a little worrisome, because they really don't have anything for Party Boys Farah.
Yeah, so we'll see how well that pharmacy is going to work out in practice. Zumba, I think they're going to be relying on Zumba, especially to be the DPS real hard carry, because this team, as we've seen them over the past 6 maps, they kind of live or die on how well Zumba's fragging out.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Although, again, Zumba is also gonna have a little bit of trouble here. In a tank-heavy comp, it's really difficult to run Widow unless your Widow is just getting the exact right shots.
Snafu's running good old Slambulance, so they're just going to speed boost onto point and dare Illuzion to do anything about it.
Actually, this isn't the worst map to do so. If they can avoid Party Boy on the Farah, oh wow, already a huge kill on the Soren.
Yeah, and Red X was, for some reason, all alone on the flank. Almost got Lucio booped right off the map entirely. So I think there was definitely a miscommunication there for Illuzion. Because, they had Zarya off on an island by themselves, and that's one of the worst heroes to be alone as.
Definitely. But just real quick, Irish Taxi Cab just completely running over Illusion, getting, 3 final blows. Absolutely just winning it for them.
So Zumba's looking for that headshot to get the critical opening pick here. Not finding a lot of it so hard. Snafu's doing a very good job of working the angles to prevent the headshots.
Until that. They can only do so much. 2 supports go down. Rocket Bros is going to get slash Kano. And although Salty Chicken is trying his damnedest, there's really nothing he can do here, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, a clean re-attack so far by Illuzion, I'll say. So they, after that kind of debacle of the first fight, I think they figured out what they wanted to do, and they actually did it. It's a little odd that they were so discombobulated coming out of the point first, but now they've got it, and now they're going to have to defend it, and I think that suits them a little more.
For sure. And taking the point with only one ult, pretty good, too.
Absolutely. Earthshatter is going to be coming out, though, so Salty Chicken versus Soren, the shield duel, that's going to be something to watch because Soren is new on the tryouts here. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication potential.
Yeah, definitely possible. Huge pick on the Undream here. No Mercy, so no Resurrect. And it looks like Illusion can really get into this. Ooh, Salty Chicken's going to miss that pin. That might cost his life.
That will, and I know that, yeah, so Snafu does love the Slambulance, but Undream is going to swap over to Widow because of Zumba, because of Party Boy. You got to have something to counter that.
You do, and Red X going in deep. However, it was infinitely worth it. Actually managed to force the Earthshatter out of Salty Chicken. But now that I'm seeing him swap, it looks like he was going to swap no matter what.
So this first push is going to be really hard for Snafu to get a good set of kills on just because of the huge ult disadvantage they're at after those swaps. I think the fight after this will be the last one, and it'll be Snafu's better chance.
For sure. Probably going to see the Graviton Rocket Barrage. However, Irish Taxi Cab could definitely have something to say about it. Wow, huge pick onto Jerry here. They're going to use the Sound Barrier too. It's actually working out pretty well for them. They don't have the Mercy. They're down so much healing here. Earthshatter and the Graviton Surge come out. Actually going to go through the Transcendence. Party Boy does fall.
I think that was intended to be a dry push until Slash managed to get the Mercy pick. And then right after that, seconds afterwards, Ike Sound Barrier, and they decided, well, we're starting out 6-5, even though we're at an ult disadvantage. We may as well push.
Oh yeah, like we were saying before, plans can definitely change. When you get such an important pick, it's definitely worth changing. 2 kills on the favor of Snafu. However, 3 are back onto the point here. They're gonna, but Jerry's gonna go down again. It looks like this time for realsies, they're gonna capture the point.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way, and I like their chances of holding it. They've got probably 3 fights they have to hold it. The first one might be the ropiest, though. They're going to have Undream to tell them if there's any sneaky flanks coming out, but aside from that, it's going to be a race to build up ult charge, and Party Boy's going to actually swap over to Hanzo, so they may not be planning on winning this first fight, Illuzion might. They might be planning on winning the second fight with a Wombo combo.
Yeah, it is very likely, considering how fast Hanzo does charge his ultimate. However, still, if you're Snafu, you must be feeling yourself pretty well. You forced Illusion to use every ult they had and still beat them.
And the dive comes in and does let Snafu take the high ground. And now Primal Rage is going to come in. Winston's going to go start knocking bowling pins around. You love to see Winston ulting in confined spaces. It just gets ugly.
It does. 2 are going to go down from Illusion. Jerry didn't actually get the Sound Barrier. Really crucial Slash combo. Just getting Pulse Bomb value again and again. Looks like they're actually going to hold this. 10 seconds left, and it doesn't look like anyone from Illusion is actually going to make it back in time.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to. I can see the intention was to get the Wombo combo up and running, but it just took them too long to charge, and it took them too long to lose the fight.
Oh,
they're going to try it, though.
Yeah, however, they lost Jerry. Again, most important person gets taken down. We're going to see the Zumba drop the ultimate here. Oh, huge Graviton. Caught literally everybody. However, no follow-up means no kills.
Yeah, and that partly was because the self-destruct coming in, it knocked down a Hanzo, and that's going to be Snafu's point. It looked a little touch and go there. I think Illusion's a little bit more comfortable on King of the Hill than they were on the other 2 maps. But we're going to go into the second point with Illusion down 0-1.
Yeah, it's not like they got stomped either. 99-100, really close. It's still anybody's match.
Absolutely. And so here we are on Boop City Lijiang Tower. We are going to see Party Boy coming back out with a Pharah, so they're going to be looking for the bridge boop early on.
Oh yeah, it never hurts. But actually, for the first time, we're going to see Snafu run the Pharah.
Yeah, on here, at least to start with, you almost feel like you have to. Undream's going to actually be on the Pharah. There's a little bit of discussion on Snafu, who is going to be taking over that role.
Yeah, it looks like now they're basically going to be running mirror comps here, with the exception of the off support.
And Badger, as Diva, was able to eat a number of rockets, get the team safely in near to the point. And from there, a bit of a trade-off happening, so a bit of a chaotic little divey fight going on in front of the point.
For sure. Still losing your main tank isn't ideal now. Oh, Party Boy's going to get the kill onto Undream. They're losing members one after another. This is actually something you want to This is something you want to disengage from here. It looks like... Oh, yeah, we're having a disconnect. We see Badger not moving at all.
And if you look at where Strafology is, having a little interrupted duel with Slash there on Tracer.
Yeah, but I'm sure they'll be ready to pick it up once it goes down. Still, for the moment, we're going to have to wait.
Yeah, and absolutely. And Slash has been doing a very good job of getting damage and charging their ult for this first team fight. Already 83% of the way towards a pulse bomb. Going to be looking for who's the best value target to get it in on. And I think probably going to be looking at Strafology as Lucio as a target. Obviously, Jerry and Mercy as a target. The question to me is whether or not he's going to use it immediately or save it for a more coordinated push.
Yeah, it really depends. I wouldn't be surprised considering how Snafu's run that before. They wait for a little more coordination, but I think it's very situational in this case. You know, Koth is very chaotic. Slash is probably either they have a plan or he's going to see something in the spur of the moment and be like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's going to be also a little complicated because Snafu is the team that lost Badger. So they're going to be 5v6 no matter what they do. And that's got to enter into Slash's calculations on how quickly he wants to use his ult.
Yeah, good point. It might end up just boiling down to, can I flip this fight or not?
And one thing that Snafu has shown me is they've got a whole lot of confidence, I'll say. They believe in themselves and their ability to win any given team fight, even when other teams would look at that team fight saying, let's pull back and play it a little safe. I don't think Snafu understands the meaning of those words.
No, but I mean, it's good because they haven't exactly, they haven't really they haven't overestimated themselves. It's definitely been working for them. They play well enough that you can turn these disadvantages into your advantage.
A little bit of banter going on while the reconnection is coming on. So as we see this point, we see that Illuzion looks like they're about to take it fairly quickly. They've got a pretty good setup to defend it as well. So they're going to have the pharmacy able to interdict at least one of the approaches to the main point. They've got their dive-ish tanks in Soren and Red X on Winston and Diva. I like their chances of being able to get into the back line. It's just a question of whether or not Snafu is going to be able to peel enough away.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we're gonna get our unpause now. Badger is gonna be back in the spawn, so we're gonna have to see how Snafu deals with this now. Oh, actually, already demeched Red X. Pretty interesting here. It looks like, Zumba's gonna go down. This might actually go in the favor of Snafu. Although they lost a point, they still have time to flip it back in their favor. Soren's gonna go down. Same with Jerry. This is looking really bad if you're Illusion here. Pulse Bomb's gonna get Strafology. And they're just...
Slash did use that pulse bomb pretty early, but only used it after the first few kills had come in, and it was a 5v4 instead of a 5v6. And then he decided to use that fast-charging pulse bomb to secure the fight instead of anything else. Now on attack, it's going to be Party Boy having an aerial duel. If he can win that, Barrage is going to come in and to play on Snafu pretty soon after that, I think, to open things up.
Yeah, depending on how soon he can do it, perhaps he could get it in there before Irish Taxi Cab can do anything about it. As I say, he already builds up the Transcendence, so that might not be the case. Unless he goes down. So this is actually his opportunity.
And another thing is that they've been doing a good job cycling in Discord targets in and out. Irish has been putting the Discord orb on whoever he can see, but Illusion's been doing a good job of making sure that Discord targets aren't that exposed for that long.
Yeah, agreed. Huge kill here. Getting the main tank down. I'm feeling pretty good about that. This is not looking good for them. Party Boy's going to come out with the rocket barrage. Gets Badger, but immediately gets taken down. Jerry falls to the Diva Bomb. Cost a few ultimates, but at 50%, they're still going to hold.
I mean, it's like I always say, the best counter to a Pharaoh is a Winston. I mean, it's just obvious.
It is like if you didn't know that, are you even playing Overwatch?
So we're going to see Illuzion regrouping for another push here. They're going to have a few more ults. Neither Mercy nor Pharah is going to have theirs, but they are going to have the self-destruct. They're going to have the primal. They're not going to have a Lucio.
Yeah, they have many. Oh, not a. Looks like they don't have Soren either. This is actually really good here. It looks like Jerry's gonna go down too. Yeah, this push is over. They need to disengage right now.
Yeah, they tried a bit too late. They're going to have a hard time. They've got to get somebody onto the point fairly quickly here in another 10 seconds. They've got the heroes to do it. They've got the Winston who can jump in with a well-aimed jump like this. So they're going to be able to have one more fight on the point here.
Yeah, the Primal Wage is definitely really useful here. All that added HP on top of the shield from the sound barrier. They really need to make these next few ults count. Zumba's really going to have to come big here. Oh, Blair's going to go down.
Zumba does miss the pulse bomb. Now it's Red X going to be using his self-destruct to secure the point, make sure nobody was able to get on the point. The question is how long they can hold it at this point, because Snafu has a ton of ults ready.
Yeah, and they're using them one by one. Oh, they actually used the pulse bomb to get the Demon Mech out. Oh, two huge kills here, taking down the Pharah. Who needs to kill the enemy Pharah before you barrage?
It's an extremely well-aimed self-destruct to get through that window. I mean, it didn't catch anybody, but I just want to commend Badger for how well he aimed it.
Yeah, that alone is incredible.
Salty Chicken jumps off at the last second.
Taking Soren and himself with him.
So because both teams wanted to see all 3 points, we are going to see Control Center, I believe, here to close out our cast. And, you know, it's appropriate. One of the best points in Overwatch for the end of our Scrim Night.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you that.
So Snafu's pretty well controlled. It seems like they're a better team and they're gathering strength. What are some things that that Illuzion needs to take out of this, both good and bad, as we start this final point?
Well, I think mostly they're going to have to evaluate the people they're trialing. On top of that, it is hard to say. I've seen them play before. They are more coordinated than this in general, but I still think they could be coordinated even further. I think synergy and comms are what they'll want to look at and work on the most after this.
Someone's getting some really good fire strikes on the team building and pretty quickly, but Zumba's already halfway to the point, hasn't even unlocked yet.
That's actually pretty wild. Party Boy on the May as well, looking to isolate some members here, make something happen. Ooh, huge pin here on the Salty Chicken, but not much is going to come out of it.
Zumba's going to get the pick on Brigitte first, which is actually a really key one, and that opens up Salty Chicken, because if you try to do that ult when Brigitte's still around, it gets a little ugly. But Snafu controlling this team fight pretty well, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they're going to capture the point. Still actually pretty close to building some ultimates. However, a couple are about to come online for Illusion too, so all is not lost.
Someone's going to get viciously staggered, though. That's real painful.
My gosh, yeah, that's really bad. Now they got to back off. They're pushing up in regular Snafu fashion. They're holding up right up to this door.
Well, the good news is they've been pushed so far back, there's not a long wait for Ryan to get back, I suppose.
Hey, there you go. That's a nice way to look at it. They're going to push in through here. Maywall comes out in an attempt to stagger. Dragon Strike comes out, doesn't find anybody. It looks like they're going... Yep, a Junkrat Tower coming out from Undream. Going to see if he can find anything. Finds nothing.
A bit of a preemptive, both support ults coming out for Illuzion as they try to push onto the point. And that is just, they're trying to just survive long enough to get to the point where they can use Blizzard like this.
Yeah, however, insane the reaction time from Irish Taxicab. As soon as the Blizzard gets dropped, he gets himself ready there to heal any of his frozen team members.
The bad news is just going to keep coming as Badger's got Rally ready to start pumping up the armor of the team. And not going to use it yet, though, because it would be a waste to use it here with that Graviton coming out. Expect to see that early on before the next team fight, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's so good pre-fight. Like it charges too slowly to be used in the middle of one.
Yeah, and the speed boost isn't really as much of a thing as you would expect. The real value is in that armor, even after it's been nerfed down to 100 instead of 150. 150 was just silly.
Yeah, absolutely. Ridiculous. And the armor's gonna come out, everybody's beefed out, ready to go. Another Dragon Strike so quickly here. Party Boy's gonna fall for it. Salty Chicken gets the Earth Shatter and the pin. Sword goes down. Looks like Illusion's gonna lose this point very quickly.
Yeah, and you could see the dawning realization in Illuzion's eyes that, oh, they've got dragons. We should probably get out of the hallway. They couldn't quite do it quickly enough, though, so they got caught by that ult, and things kind of snowballed from there. They were able to get bullied off the point. As Illuzion starts thinking about their next and maybe last attack, the real heavy lifting is going to be probably on Zumba again. Red X has to charge their Graviton really quickly here so they can combo, though.
Yeah, for sure, although they may not even have time. I think it's better when the enemy team doesn't have a Mercy, you could just go for the one pick. And the Junkrat Tire's coming out. Oh, the one pick ends up going against the Illusion. They get Soren, the main tank, and they have no way to bring him back here. And Zumba's Tire on top of it to make it even worse. He doesn't actually get any value. Blizzard comes out. Doesn't look like they're going to get any... Oh, nope. Taxicab is going to come out with the Transcendence, but...
Yeah, now Jerry's going to be playing the stall game, just trying to hold out for the rest of the team to get there. But one by one, teammates are going to die. And real soon here, Jerry's going to get picked. And there he goes.
Yeah, really just straightology. Ooh, with the sound barrier. Going to try and do some sort of stall here. But guys, Wick runs out and that's the game.
And that's going to be that. That's going to be a third map for Snafu on these Scrim-Nights / tryouts. Saw a lot from both teams. Obviously, one team did a little better over the course of all three maps, but like you said, on the one hand, it's tryouts for one team and not the other. So comms issues, coordination a little bit ropey. Aside from that, though, what's your final thought for Illuzion? What are they going to want to work on after looking back at this VOD?
Yeah, I think they want to, like I was saying before, mostly just work on a little bit of your ult economy. I think that's part of comms and synergy. Again, take it with a grain of salt. This match did have trials, but they could still definitely benefit from practicing more specific strategies, specific engages, I should say, because I think that's something Snafu had over them.
Okay, so that is going to do it for us. Again, I am Mukaikubo, and with me is BeatDownBlvd, and we've got Vflight doing the camera work and producing for us tonight. Thank you all for watching these scrims, and if by some chance you are not already on our Discord, linked below the Twitch sign, come join us. Come get your scrims casted. If you want to cast, this is where you learn as well. So on behalf of the rest of us, thank you and good night.